Whether you're a Class 5 rafter or just looking for a couple of laughs, these two have you covered. Welcome to Aaron and Zach's Better Than Mediocre Rafting Show.
Welcome to another episode of our show. I'm here with Aaron and Steve Welch this week. Steve's our guest host. Thanks for joining us, Steve.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, Steve,
hey.
great to see you. It's been a long
time.
Aaron.
I'm not to visit you in person.
Yeah, yeah, come on out. Yeah, we'd love to have visitors. Yeah, so it's a good place, particularly in the winter. January, February is a great time to be out here. So yeah. Yeah. What do we got going on today, Zach?
Well, this is just a reminder. This is our weekly live show that starts at 2 p.m. on Fridays. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all those things. We have a new thing. I'm making this show. I'm learning more about how to do live YouTube videos. You can join the show. And what that means is you pay $1.99 a month and you're a member. I'm not sure what else it means, but it's something I set up if you want to support the show. It's pretty cool. We might be able to save up our money and buy Aaron some new clothes. Although that's a nice hat and that's a nice sweatshirt. So maybe we don't just to buy you any new clothes. Yeah, I noticed. I just noticed. Yeah.
Wow. How many times do you have to be on the show before you get one of those?
He got that for doing a trip or two. A trip.
Okay.
Yeah, I may have even got it before I did a trips for you. I think I got it for just driving down from Seattle to go paddling with
you. Just being nice. I'm like, oh, do you want this? Here's a bribe for hanging out with me.
Yeah. It's hard to find people. Yeah, so I'm gonna say, so if we become a member of Gear Garage, do we get like a sticker or something cool like that, or is there anything we get out of this? Do we get a little like email, like authentic email, like maybe a like little, what are those things called that you used to get, like a participation, a little award thing that you could
you get when you make comments. No. When you make comments, you get a little logo next to your name. Ooh. And the longer you remember that your logo changes, I've played with that. And also, if somebody can do this for us, in the comment section, if you type :Aaron : I think you can do a Aaron emoji. I'm not sure if you have to be a member or not to do this, but you can just type in :Aaron and then : And I think maybe everybody gets access to emojis, or maybe it's just members.
Did you set up what my emoji is if they do Aaron ?
Yeah.
Did you decide what it is?
Yeah.
See, I think people want the participation trophies.
There's participation trophies. I'm working on coffee mugs right now. Maybe we'll send members coffee mugs.
Are there Gear Garage stickers?
Not yet.
That didn't work. Thanks, Alvaro. Yeah.
Belt buckles would be sweet. Yeah, I can't believe I haven't done that.
Everyone's trying it. It's not working.
Yeah. So I think you have to be a member, and we only have one member so far, Chris Davis. And so, Chris, if you do it, I think it'll happen. It looks like you do member to use emojis. So sorry about that, everybody. But it's something I'm playing with as a way to, make some money doing this thing that we love, so that we can fund like buying equipment, and maybe Aaron and I can travel out to the Akoi off some of the money, and just kind of expand the show. Yep. Yeah. So. Like that idea. Let's put that aside, and we have a cool show this week. I want to talk about the American Whitewater Accident Database to start, and then we're going to look at some just videos of Carnage, which is like just fun for us. And then finally, we have some video from R1-ing that I want to go over, if that sounds good. And the reason, Sean, I like that. We should do a good vibes one. The reason I want to go over this is because last episode we talked about what I think are really important for safety. I'm going to call them the big three: wearing your PFD, not drinking, and not boarding by yourself. And if you just look at the accident database, you're going to see a lot of themes in the accident database. And you can even look the most recent. Now it'll show boat cause and a factor injury over here. So like a one boat trip isn't the cause somebody died, but it's a factor quite a bit. And, the cause would be like you're caught in a low head dam. Right, but one boat trip is certainly a factor a lot.
Yeah. Oh, come on. On a low head dam, that is not. I think more the fact that they're running a low head dam probably
was why it would happen. Yeah, but you have zero chance of rescue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So right, in that example, and if you go to these, you can read the stories. Right, the stories here. If you click on that. we're not gonna read all the stories, but this is just to give everybody a sense of how, these are generally fatalities here. Some of them are just injuries. Kind of what happens. And going down, I see one boat trip again here, but also no PFD worn. And one boat trip here, PFD not worn. Solo paddling on class 2+. Solo paddling. There's not a lot of info, but it's a factor in a good number. And these are just the most recent ones.
Can you sort by that column?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, you can do searches. You can.
If you click on that, it doesn't sort. It doesn't sort by that column. No.
It doesn't sort by that column. No, I'm just looking at the most recent 25. Like we could look at the most recent 200 if we wanted to. But
that's cool. Yeah.
Right. We've done this before on the show. We've looked at the most recent accidents, and I would say the trend I see when I look at this again is like one boat trips, no PFDs, alcohol. Although I don't see much alcohol here. And the thing is, they also don't put alcohol because I think that sometimes there's not always a way to know. This one, I read a couple of these earlier. The one like Golly is an interesting one. This one right here, if anybody wants some.
What was interesting about it?
Poor group scene management. It's so there's a rapid Sweets Falls we've looked at on the show before, and there's that rock postage due where a bunch of people stand on there and heckle people and get drunk.
Yeah.
Somebody died swimming through, we've reviewed video of people swimming to the left of that and going through some civvy stuff, and nobody really paid attention, and somebody got pinned in there. So you could read it for more, but this is why I care so much about single boat trips. Yeah, you can.
I mean, high water. I'm going to say this: high water looks like a dominant variable as well.
And cold water. There's a lot of cold water. Yeah,
high water.
Low head dams. That was a high water low head dam. Flush drowning, which just means like they don't really know. Just they went down. Something happened and they went downstream. Poor planning.
I mean, Zach, I'm going to say something here. From a statistical perspective, we are not looking at enough instances to really be like, oh yeah, this seems common. I mean, we're looking at one page. Like we need to look at a lot more to get. And this is like 2/3 of them on this page where it had something. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, here's I just changed
to find statistical significance.
Yeah. My only significance is I look at this every so often, and I keep seeing themes. I haven't broken down. I think we did. Remember that we looked at that chart that one time?
We did. The chart was the chart was very helpful. I just saying we have to be careful. I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't true. I just we got to be careful about the conclusions we come to based upon this.
And it's key that a one boat trip wasn't necessarily the cause of them having an accident. It's just a factor. So I just loaded 200 and just kind of going down them pretty quick. You can see there's a couple one boat trips in a row on class 3. There's 3 one boat trips in a row. So another one right there. Darkness. Wow.
Even if statistically it didn't.
Yeah, there's a lot. As we go down, there's a lot more.
Those are the big 3.
Yeah. What do you think are the big 3, Steve? So you're saying darkness?
I would agree with Zach. I don't know that I would have thought of those without his prompting, but those are pretty basic, solid. If you break those rules, you better be really careful. I've done one boat trips before, and
so one boat trip. What are the other? Sorry, what are the other two? What are the 3 you're referring to?
No PFD drinking.
Are those the 3 you're talking about, Steve?
What's that?
Are you talking about the no PFD drinking? And the one boat trips. I feel like high water. I'd put high water in there as a 4th one. I feel like a lot of people get in trouble when they haven't been drinking and they, But
I think with Zach's 3 things is you can eliminate those.
Yeah.
Well, and you can eliminate the high water as well. I mean,
but I would say. Zach, never go without your life jacket, but I wouldn't say never go at high water. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I kind of broke this up in the way I teach this into like 4 hazards, and I have a fourth one. I can't remember what it is right now, but like 4 hazards we can control, like are based on our actions, and 4 environmental hazards. And so the environmental hazards are like watching out for wood, being cognizant of wood, being cognizant of man-made things, high water, and there's a fourth one I can't remember what it is right now. But if you
water.
cold water, yeah, oh yeah, I think I put cold water is in there. Yep, cold water is the other one. But this just came up because last week, we're talking a lot about not doing one boat trips, and a lot of people are like, no, you should be able to do one boat trips. Or it was 2 weeks ago. I can't remember when we talked about it. Were we talking about this last week, Steve?
No.
We definitely talked about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And a lot of people are like, no. And the problem is people can only boat when they have friends. And so they're saying, if I don't have friends, I can't boat. And I'm kind of saying you shouldn't. And this is why I think that way.
So, yeah, let's go back to this again. So you're saying there were the 4 hazards that were, where you say cold water, and what were the other ones that you're talking about?
There's like 4 hazards that are like things that are like based on choices you make before the trip. And there's 4 on river hazards. So like I break them up a certain way. Like one of them is environmental, and one of them is like I can't remember right now, but like the 4 you can control are wear a PFD, don't drink, don't boat alone, and there is a 4th one. The way I have it in my brain, but I'm just forgetting the 4th one. And then on river, it's avoid wood, avoid high water, avoid cold water. Cold water, or not avoid it, but like cold water. You're going to boat in cold water, but you just need to be cognizant of it, understand the risks of cold water. You're going to boat in high water. You're going to boat near trees, right? And then the other one is man-made stuff. Like just be, particularly respectful of man-made things, like low-head dams, bridge embankments, that kind of thing.
So the PFD, no drink, and don't boat alone, would the 4th one be something like being properly clothed or something like that?
I'm going to look it up right now because I have it written down on my computer somewhere. I think. I call them the 4 behavioral whitewater hazards, and the 4, I don't have it written down here though. Let me see. And the 4 environmental hazards. So behavioral is the PFD, drinking, boating alone. And there's a 4th one. I'm sorry, I can't look it up. And the environmental ones are the cold, high water.
I like those. Yeah, those are really good. Yeah, thanks for sharing those.
I mean,
yeah, who is running the low-head dam with no PFD while drinking?
And my comment from last time was, by doing it, you're making it okay for other people. So, like, let's say you're, Aaron Cavagnolo, badass, and you go do a one boat trip somewhere. Of course, you're gonna be fine. But when other people see you doing it, they think it's okay, and then they're the ones doing it when they shouldn't be doing it. I'm not even saying it's okay for Aaron to do it, but I think normalizing one boat trips makes people who are not as good feel like it's okay.
Yeah, particularly when I'm drinking and not wearing a PFD. When I'm doing the trifecta, that's really bad. But no, I see, Zach. I think you have a point with it, and I liked how last time Steve, when we talked about this a couple weeks when the show that you weren't on, we were discussing how people go out and brag about doing the one boat trips, and how that doesn't really set a good tone for less experienced people. Like, oh, cool, that's something you do. That's something fun and neat to do. Nice, I'm going to go do that too. I want to be cool like Zach. And so since Zach talks about going to do that, I want to be like Zach, and I want to be as good a boater as Zach. And I guess that's how you get to be as good as Zach, is by doing things like that. Am I summarizing well there, Zach?
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I think my keyboard's acting funny today, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to search for this. But there's a Sankey. People keep bringing this topic up. There's visualization, which we've talked about before. I can't find it right now. My keyboard's acting funny. But we've talked about this before in previous shows, and it's awesome and breaks down what's going on.
Sankey visitation. I have no idea what that is.
Let me try to find it. It's pretty cool.
Is that American Whitewater?
Aaron, my keyboard is just like
I'm
right now. Can you look it up?
Where am I going?
Just Google like American. Go to Google American Whitewater Sankey SANKEY designation. Peter, I think, I mean, you could probably tell the people that are canoeing with no PFD, dying in solo trips in low-head dams are probably not real boaters, but there's real boaters in there too. And when we say real boaters, you mean people who are like, that's what they do instead of somebody just borrowed a canoe and went down a river in their backyard.
Okay. So what do I want? What are we wanting to browse for?
There's that Sankey, that Sankey visualization on the American Whitewater page.
I mean, it's loading really, really slow for me right now, so I'm not even sure if I'm on the right site. It took when I searched in Google for it, it just took me to the accident database. So I'm at org/content/accident/view.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on it. Okay, yeah,
cool.
it's just really.
Man, I was about to say we're worse than mediocre.
It's so slow loading because all my bandwidth's being taken up with the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I'll come back around. And
yeah, you're right. That's the thing. It's sad, and so I think, and it's not good when people are dying in rivers, and so I think to continually put out the message that boating by yourself is not responsible, I think is a responsible thing to do. Yeah, here it is. Steve, this is really an interesting thing, and it breaks down fatalities by private and commercial.
Yeah, it's amazing. What happened? There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing how many more private deaths there are than commercial deaths. And this is from, what's the date here?
You can move. I think you move that slider and choose the dates you want.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to 1996 now. Okay.
The thing is, one boat trips aren't listed as a cause; it's a factor, and so it's this. You're not going to read one boat trips in here,
right?
Yeah, that's too bad that you can't break down those type of factors.
I'm sure there's a way you can mess with this. I'm sure that's pretty. I think you can go in and we could tweak it. Maybe we can do it another time.
Filters. Here we go. Factors. No.
Oh, node 2 put factors.
There we go. Yeah, this is really helpful.
High water, cold water, one boat trip.
Yeah. Is no PFD a factor? And drinking, those are factors, right?
I mean, I don't think you could say it's the cause.
No, but I mean, like, it'd be a factor, though. Did they?
Yeah, where is it listed?
Was it listed as a factor for drinking? No, they didn't have drinking on there, really, did they?
I mean, no PFD would be number one because I kept seeing it over and over and over.
That's why I'm surprised it's not showing up on this. Yeah, that's weird. But clearly, the high water, cold water, and one boat trip are problems. And then, yeah, poor group scene management. There's a few of them, but when you're trying to like prevent, you got to be careful with the high water. Got to be careful with the cold water. That's a huge number of them right there. But that's a contributing variable. So, anything else you want to look at on this?
I think we should move on. I think if you look at this, though, in my opinion, Jerry Mark has some good information. If you look at this, it's just, to me, it's super obvious. Like if you had everywhere in PFDs and we didn't drink while we're on the river and we didn't do one boat trips and people were dressed for the weather and they're respectful of high water and avoid low head dams, those messages, like that's 7 things, would be amazing. It would be way better than like learning how to do a 3-to-1.
Yeah. And I just checked on the thing, and you guys were right. The no PFD was above all those other things. Cold water, high water were like 220, like there. No PFD was 225 within the data set we were looking at. So that was a bigger variable than the cold water or the high water or the what was the other one too? Was the third one? The one boat trip. So.
All right, you guys want to get some video?
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about
Falls.
Clavey Falls.
Aaron, I think you sent me this one. I think.
Well, I think I like this one because this is the line you used to always take Zach.
I think you and I both took this line a lot.
You took it a lot. I just did it on trips when you were on them. I didn't normally do it, but I felt fine doing it on trips you were on because if I screwed it up, I was following you. But like honestly, on our trips, I went the conventional way because I was also in charge and everyone was following me and didn't want everyone going over there. Oh, now someone may tell me that actually my this is a revisionist history, but that's what I remember. So yeah.
Now in Clavey, I feel like over here people get stuck a lot.
Yeah.
No.
You say no.
No.
I think they historically they did. People did get stuck there. People would fall. You hit the rock.
Yeah. In 2016 and 2010, for the last 5 years, has not been a problem.
Okay, so this line is really good.
I don't know
now.
if something changed, if there's a little more water, if more water is getting pushed to the right, but it's not as big a deal as it was back in the day. Maybe it's when they put in that boat ramp, it shifted the flow down there and made it
Steve,
easier.
it really seems like the Tuolumne's gotten a little soft, right? Like there's a boat ramp. There's the entrance to Clavey's good. The whole of Clavey's good. Is Clavey even class 4 anymore?
I don't want to say that.
I mean, we'll see right here in this video why it's definitely at least class 4, if not class 5. I'd still say, I mean, tell me a class 4 rapid that is harder than Clavey. Zach, name me a class 4 rapid that's harder than Clavey.
Greenwall.
I think Greenwall's class 5.
Class 5.
Yeah. Do you see?
Okay. Yeah, is it more than class 4 then? Clavey?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I was being facetious a bit. I'm going to call Clavey 4+.
I might say this: Bogus Thunder might be harder on the North Fork of the American, but that is one of the most underrated class 4 rapids I've ever seen.
I've had more problems in Bogus Thunder than I have Clavey, and I've run Clavey way more.
Yeah.
So I would second that. But like this, so this is I would go this line, but you get stuck here and it causes problems. Where if this line you can do and not get stuck, but you can't do what this guy does. He just didn't know where he was going.
Right.
Because he right there.
I think he thought he was in the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Steve, have you seen this?
I watched it yesterday. Yeah.
I mean, that is such a terrible place to be. Oh.
I honestly don't. I'm looking at. I mean, I've only skimmed this. I haven't watched the whole thing. It looks like they just made time pass, but I would give up. If I'm sitting here, I'm like, hey, dude, make a sandwich. We're camping here.
You wouldn't throw a throwback to him?
I wouldn't, because I'm blocking the channel for every other boater on the river that day. You're basically you're forcing every other boater to wait, and there's only 3 hours of water.
Mm-hmm. So that's the next question. Would you run it with the raft there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The raft is the same hazard as the rock. It's actually safer than the rock. I'd rather run into that rock and that raft instead of a rock.
Would you run your normal line, Zach, with the raft there, or would you go right?
I do a normal line. It's safer now. I mean, that raft is on the dangerous rock. Like, it's actually.
Wait, will you go back to the throw bag thing?
Let me go.
Watch him deploy his throw bag. Go a little bit earlier. It's a really good throw. It ends up being a really good throw. I'm not sure it's where he was aiming.
Oh, yeah, let's watch.
Watch this.
Oh, yeah, because he's definitely aiming towards the dude right here.
Right?
Like, he's looking at that dude. He's aiming to that dude.
Or even further upstream.
I don't know. No, he was aiming for that guy. He was aiming.
And when they show us a little bit further, see the red helmet person coming down in the red helmet. I think they were throwing even.
He's never going to try. That's no. He was throwing to that guy. That guy's by far closer. Come on, you guys. Let's be.
No way. Even the camera guy moves. Look, Eric. Even the person with the camera thinks he's throwing, like the guy's looking at him right now and is like, oh, he's throwing over there. Let me move my head to see where he's throwing to that guy.
It was a good throw though. It worked.
Oh, I think he was. You guys, man, I don't agree at all. That's what he wanted. He nailed it. And that's a tough throw.
Yep.
I correlate people that can't make the line that they intend with people that can't throw bags.
Yeah, I think let's be honest. This guy looks like he knows what he's doing. The thing is, he's just probably never been on this river. He hasn't spent much time on it, and he got lost in where he was. Because that's a spot I could definitely see that as you do your scout, you come around. Oh yeah, you go down the drop. You go past the rock and go down the drop. It was like, yeah, there's a second rock.
Do you think he didn't scout, or he just didn't get markers?
Didn't get markers right.
Yeah, exactly. I think he scouted, but
that's hard. You've done that out there, been out there, and it's deceiving when you come to that horizon line where you're supposed to drop over.
I mean, I'm lucky because I probably run the main line 30, 40, 50 times before I even tried this. So I knew exactly where I had to be.
But I'll even say to this day when I run it, go up there and run it, some days I'm like, oh, am I in the right spot? I'm like, I'm pretty sure. But there's this like twinge of doubt because there's not a lot of markers up there to drop in. You're like, oh, and then you just come and you're like, cool, I'm right in the right spot. Yep, right where I want to be.
I mean, there's a twinge of doubt. That's what makes it kind of fun. Oh, wait, how did it come off that way? I haven't seen this yet. Oh.
Well, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Did they actually? Yeah, and you see he's nice high side in his boat. I mean, I think the guy knows what he's doing.
I'm not going to go that far.
Just wait. It is interesting. It looks like they were trying to spin it off in the other direction, and it.
Yeah, like they're here. And this makes me think the rope isn't helping. He could have pushed it off the whole time. I'm surprised it didn't wrap right there. And now the rope is on it.
Where was the rope attached to the raft? Could you guys see?
I think the far end. I
don't think he got it to the far end. I think he got it to maybe the far end of the frame.
Yeah.
The river left side of the frame?
No, river right side.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
That wasn't a high side. He fell. Started backing this guy, but like
you guys no, he did. Look,
this isn't a high side. This is he celebrated, grabbed his oar, and he just fell right there. That wasn't a purposeful high side.
He's high siding. He's high siding it.
Oh my god!
You guys are just not giving this guy.
Wait, Aaron, just watch a little bit longer.
Oh no! Don't do it, dude. Oh,
why are you pushing?
Oh no! Oh, he got around it. Nice. Yeah, he's good. Oh, we've all been stuck there.
No, we've
all. That's a nice line. I like that line. I've done that line many a times. Oh.
What surprises me is that a rope on river right did something that caused the boat to go to river left, making me think the rope was useless.
Yeah.
Unless it pulled the back of the boat up out of the water enough that water stopped going in.
Yeah, that's bad. I would honestly, like, I'm not even kidding, guys. I would have given up. To me, I look at this and go, this looks like an afternoon of just futile pulling and rope burns. I'm surprised it came off.
It's not that stuck.
It's wrapped, flat wrapped on that nasty flat rock.
But at an angle. It's not one of those ones where it's just like, it's like straight around the rock. Both sides are even. It's like it's kind of in a funky position, and the boat wants to float. I think Zach, the Zach Collier technique would have been good here. It's like stop and have lunch and see what happens, and just say, all right, bro, we're just gonna wait for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the guy pull. I mean, hey, dude, go. We're gonna make some sandwiches. You pull on it for a while. We'll come back to you in like 25 minutes and see where you're at. I'm gonna change videos, but while I do, can you guys? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Aaron.
I was gonna say, the other thing too about this is too, I think the way they were pulling is they pulled it down so it caught more water actually. So it was kind of stuck like this. They pulled it this way so it turned this way and it caught more water. So it's here. They pulled it like this, and then it caught more water on the front, and then it went around this way. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Not really.
Okay, the boat's kind of pinned this way, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the upstream end of it.
Yeah, I got it.
And then they pulled the back end.
Oh, okay, got it.
That way, and as they pull it back in that way, the front end digs down, catches more water, and then just gets taken around. Because it was kind of an equilibrium going straight off the front of the rock, and then basically by pivoting the back end a little to river right, the the front end that's in the water gets a little more river left of the rock, and then it's able to catch the water and it peels it around. You guys with me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I want to go back. I want to look at that in a bigger lens.
Okay.
Do you set upstream safety? Do you set downstream safety? Like, what other things should be happening? We were looking at pulling that boat off of the rock, but as we know, that's the exciting part, but it's not always the important part.
I have my 4 things. I might forget what they are. Upstream spotter, downstream safety. Think about what's going to happen when it comes off. And put one person in charge.
Okay.
Those are my 4 things.
And in this case, downstream safety is like, I don't think a throw bag does much good at downstream safety in that instance.
It's only one person.
You have to have a boat down there.
I mean, ideally you have a boat down there. I think that's true. And then Steve, actually, you're bringing up an interesting point. Is like, let's just say that was the first boat to go.
Right. Exactly.
Just like theoretical. And I think
got 3 more boats upstream.
And then you got your 3 other boats upstream. Do you have 2 of the boats to run through? So you have some downstream safety before you start, messing with it and doing all that stuff and getting the rope across the river. Because let's just say you have that rope across the river, and then somehow bro falls in, hits his head, and starts floating down. You don't have a boat down there. You're like, oh, we got to get into the boat again. We can't go down because there's a rope across. That's a good point, Steve. It's like it may be worth it in that point. It's like, hey, let's get some boats downstream safety. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
And I don't think a throw bag down there is adequate. But I think
if he's conscious,
around it,
it's not optimal. Yeah, it's not optimal. It's better than nothing, but yeah.
Well, you only need a boat downstream if he falls out and is unconscious. Mm-hmm. That's what you're talking about.
Or he's really lame.
He stays on that rock.
Yeah, he's really lame. Can't swim to shore, or the person with the throw bag misses him on the throw. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why that throw bag could not work out well. So, or they let go of the rope when they throw it to them because they're not. We've seen all those things happen. We know all of those problems with the throw bag. So
those are my, when a wrap happens or something like this happens, those are my 4 things: upstream spotter, downstream safety, put somebody in charge, and think about what's going to happen on the boat when it comes off. Like, where's it going to go? What's it attached to? Do those 4 things. So what happens is we see a wrap and we're like, oh my God, we get to use our pulleys and our safety things and let's go be macho. And nobody's like, hey, maybe we should I wouldn't have thought about putting a boat downstream. Actually, I would have been like, hey, so-and-so, go down to the throw bag and just kind of look at things. But again, now that you mentioned it, Steve, I'd run the boat down. Also, if a bag comes off, like let's say a bag comes off and floats down, the boat can go, any equipment, the bag can go get it. I think that's super smart.
Or the whole boat floats down with no one in it.
Yeah, or the boat floats down, and then a throw bag isn't going to pull at the shore.
Okay, so here's the next piece of that. The boat goes off, and that guy stays on that rock, let's say. Yeah. So he's stuck on that rock. You know that rock. Are you going to try and
stuck there?
Jump in a boat that comes by?
Yes.
No, I would just slide off the backside of that rock and go.
Swim that?
No way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from behind that rock for sure. Oh yeah.
Why would you not jump on a rock?
That fan rock.
I think you go left of the fan rock pretty easily.
Aaron Cavagnolo, water polo coach, might.
No, it's Aaron with this skinny bony butt floating on my back, trying to stay as high as I can so I don't hit a rock.
Steve, what do you do?
Man, I think I would try and jump in another boat, but that would be a tough leap. And you'd be making it worse. If you missed that, it'd be worse than just swimming from there.
Do you think you could climb up the rocks going back upstream?
I'm looking at it again right now. Let me open up this thing. I don't think you can. Sorry, you guys are looking at us, and I should open this back up.
Would you rather have here's another question. Would you rather would you have a throw bag thrown to you and get pendulum in, or try to jump into a raft as it goes by? Because rafts go by there very fast, and it's a pretty violent spot. That's a violent spot to be jumping in a raft.
It's a violent place to jump in the river.
Here's the important thing. Number 3 of Zach's 3 things. What's going to happen when the boat comes off? That person in the green paddling jacket better be thinking about that. Like, when that boat comes off, I am in it. Like, that is my highest priority through this whole process.
I think you guys are. I mean, you look. Basically, he could get into the goalpost route. He could just Dude, kind of
like. Full, no way, Aaron. You're full right of there. It. There's no.
You
Aaron,
can see right there for me. He's could just.
We're not all water polo coaches, Aaron.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to swim that ever, anywhere, from any part of it.
I think more people get hurt in rafts and jumping in rafts than they get hurt in the water.
I don't think in this case. I think both options suck, and might as well go for the. I mean, this is. I think of this.
I'm going to tell you this: if I were leading the trip, I would tell them to get in and swim down.
I wouldn't.
I would be like,
no way.
Get in and swim.
So I think about this a lot on when things happen. When things happen, you created a situation. Oh, this is awesome. You created a situation. You're in a bad situation. Life just got worse, right? Like you're now looking at the worst of two evils. You're in a situation like life was good before. You're gonna have a nice fajita dinner and like drink margaritas. Your situation just got worse, and your best case scenario is not very good. Both like jumping a boat or jumping back in the river, both suck. Jumping back in the river here sucks. I mean,
I think on the backside of the rock.
But you're not only do you have that rock, Aaron, you have the rest of Clavey.
If I was in charge of this situation, the first thing I would tell that person is make sure you're in that boat when it comes off.
Yep. And it's not, that's the thing that I don't put on him, his responsibility. Who, like when I say put somebody in charge, that person in charge needs to be like, hey dude, listen, when that boat comes off, you're jumping in it. That's part of the like putting somebody in charge and thinking about what happens after the wrap.
Could you just
That's the safest way to get the guy out of that
Aaron,
situation.
you're wrong, and you're trying to stick by you're like
no, I'm not wrong at all.
Through the falls, pendulum in through the falls.
Yeah,
you're
totally.
No,
that's yeah. You could just pull him into the eddy. We're looking at the eddy right there. The eddy behind the Scout Rock.
Aaron, if you had your choice of getting in that boat or swimming that rapid, don't tell me you'd rather swim the rapid.
No, I would get in the boat if I could, but I wouldn't take an epic jump into a boat full of metal to try to get off that.
How do you know the boat's full of metal?
Because it's a gear frame.
How do you know what the rest maybe there's a paddle boat, maybe there's a bag stack. All right,
I'm gonna say it's like I would be cautious. You're talking to the guy who broke his collarbone within a raft. You know, I never left the raft and I broke my collarbone.
Yeah,
so
imagine that you could break something worse not in the raft.
You know what I think about every time is if I'd been just jumped out of the boat, I would have been fine.
Where was this, Aaron? We're talking about like Old Scary in the South Fork? Because
no,
yeah, you're right.
India Rap in the entrance to India, or this pour over thing in the entrance to India.
I'm fine swimming India. I'm not fine swimming this. I hope I'm not. Well, I go to the river.
The rock has a name.
Class 3.
Which
the rock he's on?
Do you know the name of that rock?
No.
Table Rock?
It happens often enough that they've named the rock. I believe it's called the Toaster Rock.
Oh, the Toaster Rock. That's kind of what happens because the boat kind of goes in, like it goes in and goes down like in a toaster. Yeah. Yep.
Wait, where's the Table Rock? Isn't there a Table Rock on this run? On this rapid?
No, maybe it's the Table Rock and the Toaster Slot.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get to some comments and move on. I don't mean to go to the river guides. I respect it. I call it 4+. But I say back in the day, I call it 5.
It was meaner. It was meaner. I remember I like at one point I started trying to get surfed in the whole Clavey because I'm like, I don't think you can get surfed there anymore. And I was literally trying to surf the Clavey hole.
When you could get stuck in the entrance and the hole would destroy you, it was a hard rapid. We'll take those two things away. It's still hard, but it's not the same.
Where's the
correct line? I guess I want to try to explain the correct line here.
Yeah, you start up above and show them the correct line, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's try it here.
But yeah. Well, like this, we can talk the Zach correct line. The Zach correct line is what that guy was doing, but pull harder to get over another, like where that guy is. You got to pull harder and move farther across. I think the current's different. What year is this? It's 2016. Zach, I don't know if your line still would work very well. It looks like the current's different now.
My line, I catch this little wave right here and I ferry over more into this eddy.
Yep.
And then just sit there and go down. The normal line, the normal line is to come down here, go through this little hole, and kind of come right down here, just left of that rock you see, and down the falls. There's a nice falls right through there.
Have you ever done the right line?
At high water.
No. Just to the right of that
over
rock.
here and down.
And then you go down, and then you can take back, and then it takes you back down the chute to the left. You go down there, and then it takes you back left. I've seen some boats do that line. It worked surprisingly well.
Private trip or something.
I was impressed. Yeah, I was like, oh, that actually worked well. Looked pretty fun.
So Aaron, when I do type this in, we can't see it, but I'm looking on YouTube right now. It puts an image of your face. It's awesome.
Oh, really? I'm missing out by not seeing that.
You're not seeing it, so we don't see it because we're in this other software. Cool. Let's move on to the next video. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it.
And this is I think we may have already looked at this one. I feel like we looked at one really close to it, and this is just the same person flipping another time at Dinosaur. So we're in the same rapid, much bigger water. So we just, what do you guys think the flow was last time?
1,200.
Yeah, somewhere there. Yeah.
So now we're at 4,300 a Merrill, so like almost 4 times the flow. This Clavy's higher, so we can just say 4 times the flow. And so those of you that don't know this rapid, there's the Clavy River coming in.
Over 4 times the flow, probably, Zach. If it's 800 coming down the Clavy, that's 5,200. Yeah.
And so when we were showing the last video for perspective, we were on the far right running the falls. Now we're on the far left, which was too shallow in the last video. But now at 4,300, do you guys run? Don't you run the center line?
It's 5,300 now. Because of the Clavy, right? So
he said if the Clavy was 800.
Yeah, so 43 plus 800 is 52.
Okay, but when it was 1,200, the Clavy was probably 75. When it was 1,200, the Clavy probably had 75, so it's probably 4 times the flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we're agreement. I like the left line a lot. I mean, as soon as the left line opens up, it's a good line.
Over the what's the middle line called again? The
goalposts.
The goalposts.
Yeah, the goalpost takes you. It depends how Clavy Hole looks. If Clavy Hole is huge, you don't want to do the goalpost because the goalpost will take you straight into it, doesn't it? From what I heard.
Well, this requires just this perfect ferry.
Yeah, you didn't like this ferry that much.
Steve, what do you think? Steve's shaking his head at both of us.
No, it's awesome. I mean, I've been there. You know that how hard that is to hold that angle. But he's trying to go all the way right of Dinosaur.
Yeah, so you're just coming down, and you have to do all the water coming off the falls and off the goalposts.
You can see right about now he's going straight upstream on the
really aggressive ferry.
He's working that left oar to get his ferry angle back.
Yeah, I'm going to point out, I point out all the time, his oars are too short. His hands shouldn't be that high. Like, see how his hands are so high when he's pulling? He's not getting much power.
Yeah, you talk about that a lot.
Talk about too much. This is that wing boat. This is that Forest Service wing boat.
Oh, a nice line.
Yeah, so far.
That's hard getting all the way over the left.
Ooh, he got way over. I like that line. That's my favorite line.
Oh, when it works, it's the best.
Oh, you feel so good being over there.
Yeah, he did a really good job getting all the way over here. He's stoked. Oh, except for this.
His boat's really light.
Yeah.
Oh no. And it's one of those polyurethane flippy
rafts. What I love, his hand is still on the oar.
That is where the oar lock.
So awesome.
There's that was oar versus pins and clips.
If he had a pins and clips right now, he'd still be up there.
Yeah, he'd still be in the raft. No problems.
This video is awesome too. This underwater, seeing his feet. Oh. My hat's off to him for sharing this. This is pretty cool.
It looks so deep. He looks so deep.
That's it for that one.
So, yeah, that's rough. That was a nice one. I'm going to say I like that line a lot rather than messing with splitting a couple huge holes. It's nice just to be all the way over there. All right, what are we watching now? Oh,
I like splitting the holes.
Yeah,
I haven't seen this yet. This just came up in my feed, and I thought, you know what? It says accident in it. Let's see what this is about.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Zach, going back to that Clavy video, just one boat trip. That guy's in deep trouble. even if he's not drinking and he's wearing his life jacket. Like, you can't be on a one boat trip in that situation. Like, someone's gonna have to come.
Yeah, he wasn't on a one boat trip.
He wasn't,
but
in that situation.
But Steve's
right?
making a good point.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a one boat
No,
trip,
he wasn't
he'd be
on a one boat trip.
Yeah, same thing with this Rishikesh video. If this was a one boat trip and you have 7 people in the water, how do you manage this?
So I'm curious, what would you guys have done? Go back to the start of this thing here, and what would you have done differently right here, right about now?
I would have gone back here. I would have been pointed to the left bank, paddling to the left bank.
Earlier?
Way earlier.
Yeah.
I would be right here. I mean, I would be trying to.
Paddling to the right bank.
To the left bank.
River
left. Our right, river left.
Okay.
So, like, I would be pointed way, like, 90 degrees to the current. Right? What was that, Steve?
He or she.
He or she. It's India, so I'm unfortunately pretty sure it's a he. But I'd be
don't tee up to the hole.
Was that?
That's the problem.
Say that again. Steve, you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's a couple.
Teeing up to the hole seems to be the problem.
That's a big hole. That's a big wave. So I'm going to say something here that I found works well for me, and you guys could tell me it is a terrible idea, but I've had a lot of success in situations like this. Is just before you hit that wave, call an overwrite, and if you train them well to get all their weight on that downstream tube, it's like in a kayak when you lift up your upstream tube and you brace it downstream. If you do an overwrite, I've hit things like that sideways with kind of that angle too. They're having that angle coming downstream, and then it like hits you, knocks the boat down, and then you pop out the side. So I would love to have seen an overwrite just before they hit that, get all their weight on that right side, the downstream tube. And I think there's a good chance they could come out upright. I've had a pretty good success with that. I mean, it hasn't always worked.
So. Steve, you back? I think we lost you for a second. Oh, Steve's frozen still. Oh,
Steve's gone.
Steve. Well, I mean, they didn't hit it straight.
But you can't because he's trying to miss it. And then you realize you're not going to make it. Once you realize you're not going to make it, if you try to turn it straight into it, you lose all the momentum in the direction you're going. You're going to be deeper into the hole. You're better off go, and then call that over left at the last minute. I mean, over right at the last minute.
Yeah, I think that whether you're straight or sideways, this hole is big. I think you're going to flip almost no matter what.
I'm going to tell you, I've hit some huge stuff with overs.
You can do it. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying, just avoid
Here's
it.
the question: do you think you could brace into that as a kayaker and stay upright?
Me? No. Some people might be able to. It's a pretty big hole.
Yeah, but I think you really get that edge. You see, they even got over the back side of it. Like it was a late flip on it. Like I'm a big fan of the overs, the early overs, and I encourage people to try them out and experiment with it a little bit. I've had some people, be upset with me for trying them, but they work pretty well. So.
But I think what's interesting about this video is watch how fast the swimmers separate from the raft. And this is where I keep coming down to downstream safety.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those swimmers are gone, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, all those boats are not in the right place to run safety.
Well, you saw that one boat was upside down as you went past it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. That was great. There's
another flip.
Right there.
There we go, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that there's a massive pool below here that goes for like a mile. I'm assuming that we're on some river in India where.
But that's an interesting spot where all of them are pulled over too. Like we were talking about sitting safety. Like, did you like that spot where they're sitting safety, or they were on the side?
They were way too. They were way too.
I feel like they were there to get video and to watch people eat it. They weren't there to help.
Yeah, which makes me think that they didn't need to set safety again because there's a massive, massive pool. There's plenty of time to recover down below.
The other thing I don't know is how did they get that upside down boat over there? That was mind blowing to me.
Sometimes the boats just eddy out.
Yeah.
Sean says hard to river left earlier. If didn't make it, script hole. Yeah, I mean, you could have gotten river left with a super aggressive angle. You could have started at the beginning. You could have gotten river left there. You're either going to go in the hole because you want to, or you just don't understand angles. Like that's not that crazy of a move, or your crew is just awful.
Or you're trying to give them the fun line, getting close to it, but not too close to it.
Because they may have flipped on purpose. To him, like, hey, let's go flip in this. It's an easy flip.
Mm-hmm.
Just tee up and hit it hard. I mean, it's hitting a hard help. Like sometimes if you hit something really hard, it's almost like
it's a train wreck.
Yeah, it's like two things hitting, and there's a pretty quick, violent impact. Like sometimes hitting it too hard is maybe like too much.
I'd never.
I'd rather like if you're gonna go into a hole, I'd rather like hit the hole and then try to paddle through it than like paddle really hard, hit it, and then get wrecked.
Especially, I don't. What, Zach?
Yes.
Lost Steve again.
I know. So Steve's in the foothills of California. It doesn't always have the best internet. Like if you like paddle hard, and then you use all your energy and you hit it, and then it just trashes you. It's like two rams hitting. It's just hard. We're like to not be like a high percentage of my ability, and then keep it going. And as you hit it, just power through it, and like catch the water on the back end.
Well, like why not hit it hard and catch the water on the back end?
If you had a choice. But I think hitting things really hard sometimes is maybe not the way to go.
I think it can be violent for sure, but I think it also depends on the rocker on your raft. If you've got a raft with no rocker, it really doesn't work very well, and you have a hard time and you're just done. So yeah, good luck. Try to break it, but it's not gonna work out well. But if you've got good rocker, you pop over the top of it. So if you have a boat with good rocker, I'm going to say this. I've never been like, oh man, yeah, I had too much momentum going into that big feature. I mean, have you ever said that? We were like, we really needed less momentum going into that huge feature.
I've been thinking about this as I've been making this point. Maybe not. I just feel like sometimes I've hit things really hard.
Totally.
And it's just violent. And if you don't time it, like if you do that right when it breaks, it's just nasty. Or sometimes I'm like, let's give it 80%, like when I'm rowing. Right. If I'm going to row into a big hole, I'm not going to like push 100% into it and then be like a little bit tired when I get there. I'm going to just give a nice even strokes, build the momentum up. And then as I hit it, push the boat through it and catch that water on the downstream and be ready for another stroke so I can get out of the hole. So I want to like save my energy a little bit for after I've had that initial interaction with the feature. Steve, be back? We're losing Steve here. Do you ever try to use the momentum of the right to drive right of the hole if you know you can't snake left?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
I think you're talking about because you're coming down the V and the V's coming this way, right? And so the V momentum is taking you left to right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on the left side of the V trying to work it, and it's pulling you back to the right. So at a certain point, maybe just shoot back the other way, which is an interesting. I think Mark Rivers' catarafter. It's really easy to stop your momentum in a cataraft. And you could just like do one pull and go flying back across. And so I think that would work really well there. I don't know with that group of 8 in the boat how that would work. It's an interesting thought. But Mark, I think brings up a good point. Is it's like knowing where you are in that tongue, and sometimes you can back off and go shooting off the other side, depending on how wide the feature is. But that feature was pretty wide. I don't know if we could get to the other side of that feature.
I want to correct you one thing, Aaron. His name is Mark Rivers, PT, DPT, badass. It's not Mark Rivers. I still don't understand Mark's question, so thanks for answering that. I keep rereading it. I don't get it. Depends on the weight and design of the boat. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, let's move on to another video we have for everyone today.
Ooh.
Sure. I got lots of videos I've been holding on to. Start with
Stevie's still around? Take it.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks like Colorado?
This is Whitewater, which I believe is actually in Utah. I think it starts in Colorado and ends in Utah.
Okay.
It's pretty low water. Oh, let's go back to this.
Yeah, you're right. It's in Utah. I didn't know that.
Do you launch in Utah too? It's really close to the border.
It says Whitewater Canyon in Utah.
The time I ran this was a one boat trip with me and Jeremy and Dan.
And you weren't wearing life jackets. You were drinking
alcohol.
We wore
life jackets. We were not drinking alcohol. Michelle Millay did shuttle. back in the day.
Oh, was that the trip you took her Celica? You
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Ooh, what's in here? Whoa. Are they rowing this?
Yeah, there's somebody rowing with people sitting up front.
So, and people sitting in the back too. Man, I do not like having.
In the back. Yeah.
I do not like. Oh, yeah, I don't like having people in the back of my boat on runs like this when you're sitting or boat in the center.
Look how narrow that is right there. Comes another boat. Hopefully the oar management's better. Oh, the second boat has pins and clips.
Are they in a bucket boat?
I don't think so. Although there's a lot of water down there.
It still looks like it's full of water. Is it still full of water? I guess not. Just a little bail.
He's doing handle forward on a spare too.
I know a lot of people who like that.
See, I'm worried about this oar management. Oh, that sucks.
What are they doing? Oh, there it is.
Man, this is a lot of oar management issues.
That's a tough spot.
I mean, I think to do this correctly, you have to set up way early so that you're not.
This looks full on for a multi-day trip.
This is like the Tuolumne.
I'm going to say this. Whenever you see someone in a climbing helmet on a rafting trip, it always makes me pause.
That wasn't that bad.
What?
That wasn't that bad. I mean,
I know it wasn't.
That's the famous room of doom over there, but it's so low that it's not a big deal.
This is a really pretty canyon.
I want to go back. I noticed one thing about his oars. I think actually somebody had the right size oars for once. I think you get to look back. No, this is definitely a Baylor.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Steve.
Sorry about that.
So look,
we've all been there.
Yeah, no, it's the internet. So his oars look the right length, right?
Yeah,
what do you think? He's rowing like his shoulders aren't extended. He has a lot of oar on the outside. Like I think this is a rare occurrence where I'm excited about his oar length. Those towers look really tall, but
yeah,
it's nice to see oars of the right length. Okay, so the next video is share screen is higher water, same rapid. Same rapid. So instead of whatever that low water was, this is in the 30s of thousand.
This is the same rapid.
Same
Looks
rapid.
So different. Wow.
Yeah, it's just flushed. Steve, have you done this section? This is Whitewater, Utah. Look at all those boils.
Looks like a fun run. I want to go do Whitewater sometime. This looks incredible.
So Skull's the big rapid. It's like the classic big rapid. And then the rest of it, if I remember right, it's like class 2. And then down there on the right is this thing called the Room of Doom.
Yeah.
Where at high water, you can just get permanently eddied out. Like it's hard to get back in the main current. He's the guy in the front has the MTI PFD.
Oh yeah, I like that PFD.
The high.
Well, this is busy, man. This is there's some big features. Wow. Yeah, you wouldn't want to swim in there. You want a high volume vest for that swim.
Yeah, you don't want your like 16-foot flotation with all those boils.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's at 35,000. Whoa. Yeah. Okay.
All right, and next, this isn't Carnage. This is Barry's footage. Somebody asked for some Barry footage. This is our friend Barry Cruz on Giant Gap. And just that, this is really cool paddle boating. I think we have. Hold on,
I'm going to say this. It's impressive they got that huge boat down there. That's a big boat.
And I did it with you once with the Avon Adventurer, which probably weighs.
Yeah, that boat's a lot heavier than Avon Adventurer. That's like the Sierra Mac Creek boats, which weigh way more than Avon Adventurer.
Really? It's urethane.
Yeah, but those boats are they're 15.5-foot boats. They're really big tubes. They're heavy. It's a heavy boat.
Aaron, you got an invite to come out and run Whitewater.
I definitely want to come out and run Whitewater. June, July, right? All right.
In July.
Yeah, I would love to run that. I'd love to run this section again too. This is a fun one.
So for those of you that don't know, Giant Gap is the Upper North Fork American. It's definitely Class 5. Nutcracker, that's what this one's called. This one doesn't look that hard in this video, but it's scary.
The laterals is coming across. You got to be, if you're in the right spot, it goes well. But if you get offline, you're done. If you get turned sideways at all, you just got to keep it straight.
Yeah, look at that rock at the bottom too.
Yeah, right there. Boom. Yeah.
The reason Aaron's bringing up the weight of the boat is because you have to hike in 2 miles. So everybody here had to hike in 2 miles.
And it's like thousands of feet of elevation loss. So the next day your quads are just hammered, even when you're like 20, 22 or whatever when we were doing this. And
Barry used to guide here commercially, so I didn't know all these rapids had names. I only knew the big ones. But it's kind of cool. I've never heard the name Pyramid Alley, for example. It's kind of cool seeing names for all these rapids.
Yeah, totally.
And what's the biggest rapid on the run is Locomotive. And I asked Barry, there's no video of Locomotive. I asked him about it. He said it's easy now. Kind of like Clavey, it got better.
Yeah, I wonder what flows we're talking about. And, like what flow, they don't look like they're running at high water today. I wonder if it's just the flow. Because I feel like Locomotive was never hard at low water. At high water it was.
Aaron, I thought you would like this. This is a nice over left.
Yeah, the low siding it. Yeah, that is nice. I do like that. Oof. Yeah, man. Oh. Yeah, they're having nice lines. Are they calling? Is that an over left or they just calling get downs? That might have just been a get down. I don't think that was an over left. That other one either. I think they were just getting down. Because if it was an over, you want to get your weight on that other tube. Yeah. Is this pinball already? Are they already down at pinball?
No, dominatrix.
Oh, dominatrix.
Look how comfortable Barry is. Like, Aaron, you'd be sitting on the floor right now.
Oh, totally.
And I mean, look at his stance. He has such a comfortable stance. Like he's put thousands of miles in. He knows exactly what he's doing, which he has put thousands of miles in. But that's a very comfortable stance in the back. Aaron, you'd be at the bottom of the boat yelling commands.
Well, I'd be at the bottom of the boat yelling, "Get down, get down, get down." Steve knows that. Just get down. Oh, no, and it's like guiding over the back a little bit, just enough to keep us going. This is a tricky exit to the rapid right here. This spot. Whoa. Ooh, yeah, they just got it. Yeah. Jeremy and I took a swim there one time, be in the front of John Lane's boat. We both.
Jeremy Jasmine.
Yeah, we both fell off. The boat rode up and didn't get over where they did, and it kind of pivots, come backwards, and it throws the people out who are in the front, just kind of dumps them down. Yeah, this is an aggressive run.
It's an aggressive run, and I love this video because I don't think I've seen Barry paddleboat. I always see video of him with the oars in the back. And if you listen to him, his commands are really precise, like easy to understand, clear, confident. He does. His commands are fantastic. I really like the way he gets aviator shades right now. He's like a F-15 fighter pilot with the aviator shades, that American-made helmet with the visor. I saw a photo of a F-35 pilot today. He was kind of nerdy looking. I didn't know they had nerdy looking F-35 pilots.
Yeah, everyone looks good in here.
That's some good boating right there. They have a lot of stuff. Doesn't seem like they have a lot of stuff on the boat.
Do you see what Peter's saying? Yeah, I've heard about people doing this. So I've heard people do is they take a piece of PVC pipe and then they roll the boat around a piece of PVC pipe. And then they've got like a piece of rope that goes to PVC pipe or something so they can control it, and they just let it roll down the hill the whole
Wait,
way.
the pipe is like 3 feet diameter?
Yeah.
They shove it in?
It's not 3 feet diameter in length, right? The pipe is like this big in diameter. And then they have a rope through it, and then they roll it into the middle of the raft. And so then they have a rope go through that so they can use that as a brake. And then the raft just goes around and around.
You're just destroying your raft.
I think some people put a cover on the top of it. I think that's how they used to do it commercially back in the day when these guys were running this commercially.
Wow.
That's how they would do it.
Yeah, I bet that's a pretty light boat. I don't know why those Cherry Creek boats are so heavy. Maybe you're just getting as you were getting.
They have
older,
a double layer of material on the bottom.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
and most of these urethane boats are pretty light.
Yeah, I mean,
I was visiting Marty the other day, and he showed me one of those pieces of pipe, and it was actually a piece of pipe maybe that big around, and then another pipe inside of that.
Oh, okay.
So that it had an axle and then a row, and he said it was for Giant Gap for rolling the boats down that hill.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize an inner pipe too. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
He also credited Roger Lee with that invention, which I'm not sure if you know anything about that.
I'd credit Roger Lee for that.
Yeah, and you see what Peter says here. He wraps it with an old piece of urethane, which makes sense. And you got the urethane on the outside, so that actually sounds like a really nice way. Because like I've seen a lot of other techniques getting down there, and then you get down, you've got this thing you have to deal with, and it's kind of
you don't want to go in 2 miles. It's not the trail's not perfect. You don't want to go 2 miles and have it tear in your boat.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, Aaron, the time I did it with you with the Avon, I'm gonna go back and just keep showing the video. If you remember, we took the boat and rolled it lengthwise around the paddles.
Yep.
And then 4 of us had it on our shoulders.
And we
shouldered it down like that. And then I know some people have figured out with cat boats. I figured out how to use the oars and like a little wheel, and they have little brakes like in mountain bike brakes. It uses a brake system, and all that stuff collapses pretty small.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
So I've never seen this. Roger called it the Easy Lee.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's such an excellent run, but accessing is such a difficult. That's one of the things, like one of the reasons I bought a pack raft is like going and doing this. I'm like, I don't want to carry a raft anymore, but a pack raft, okay, I'll go in and do it low water, carry a couple of things, but still get to go down there and check out because it's so pretty in there. And if you get in there around like 500 CFS or something like that, the hydraulics just aren't nearly as mean. So, yeah.
Would you pack raft Giant Gap?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would.
I wouldn't.
I would probably do it at like 300 though the first time. But yeah.
Would you pack raft over? Why wouldn't you ducky it?
Oh, I ducky it too at 300.
What would you rather do? On the river, ducky or pack raft?
Oh, it depends on the inflatable kayak, but probably inflatable kayak it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. He has some sort of bearing in the pipe. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about, Steve? Is like there's a pipe inside the pipe?
Yeah.
That's cool.
At the end of the inner pipe, there were 90-degree elbows.
Oh.
So then the rope went down through the elbow, through the inner pipe, up the other elbow. And then there was the outer piece of pipe was what the boat was rolled around. So it rolled that way. I'd never seen anything like it. Marty asked me if I knew what it was. I couldn't even guess. And he explained it to me.
Wait, so you're meeting with Marty, and he goes, "What do you think this is?" And you're like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Let me tell you."
Yeah, exactly.
And
Marty has a whole, museum of.
Yeah, he's got obscure things that no one will know what it is. But I mean, that's a neat one to hold on to because that is a special time when they were running commercial trips up there. So.
But they haven't run commercial trips there for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So this is more, hey, you could use this down the South Fork Trail, Steve, when the road's closed.
Luckily, Steve only has another month or so that he's got to worry about that, right? Or two, where he's got the next couple months. If one of those trips comes up, Steve's like, yeah, we can do that.
I have a key to the gate now.
That could be one of your last projects for Arda is make a bunch of those.
But what they did, but Zach,
good luck, Isaac.
Did you ever see what Arda did though? Where they had these like on the creek frames, they had these like wheelbarrow wheels that clamped onto each of the towers.
Uh-huh.
And then you'd run it like a little rickshaw, and you would strap the oars onto it, and you could put a raft on it. And we used that for one of our guide schools one year. It was amazing. It worked so well.
Is it somebody in front and back?
Yeah, you have someone we had someone breaking in back for part of it. We had someone
go too fast.
Yeah, it gets going too fast. Yeah, but it works so well.
This is what my friend had. This guy, Dave Nissen, who he still makes them, I think. Same thing. Usually, like your frame sits on a wheel, but he has like, and then your oars go back, and he has brake calipers.
That'd be cool.
So it's going downhill. He can just like put the brakes up against the oars.
Brake calipers would have made that way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had 2 wheels on it. We blew out one wheel, I remember, on one of them, and somehow they got it all the way down. You gotta love guide school students. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, here we go. See, Sean's talking about someone on their trip. They pack rafted it.
Where are we at on this?
Below, talking about taking old Miwoks down there in the 80s, which
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw the pack raft on the video at some point watching it earlier. I think you could do pretty well. It just sounds hard. I mean, you get down. It doesn't sound that fun to me, actually. And sounds hard. Where a ducky to me sounds like more fun.
Yeah, I mean, like what are those called? Your air ducky things, the back rafts. Yeah, I'd rather use a back raft.
I mean, here's one. I have one right here. I mean, it's
how much does it weigh?
About this, a little bit more than a pack raft. It's like 9 pounds. Where a pack raft is about 8.
I mean, but do they make those anymore?
Yeah.
Oh, they do. I thought they stopped making them.
They make it. This is the green material, the older material. I thought like more. The new material they have, it weighs a little bit more and is, they say, a little more durable, and it's white or no, the blue. But I mean, I like those.
Zach, when I say pack raft, I mean any of those, and I think like not like there's like not a specific. I'm not saying like the Cocapelli or the what's the other from the alpaca or that kind of that genre of the real lightweight boats. It's just like. Yeah, I'm going down there to run the Whitewater, but I'm really going down to see the canyon. And like the hike in is brutal. Like, it's a brutal hike in. And so just like, that's why I got one of those boats, is just to be able to do stuff like that and not just destroy myself. I'm not 23 anymore and willing to just like beat the snot out of my body. I'm not going to carry I'll go run shuttle now. If you guys all want to carry the raft down to put it in, I'll meet you down there, but I'm not doing that anymore. So, you're
like too old. You should give up, Aaron. Good point.
Yeah. I'm smarter. It's more
thanks for the pep talk. Thanks for the pep talk. As you get older, just give up and do shuttle. The air spud, I haven't tried it. They make a spud like that light one I just showed you. They make one that's like, let's say like 7 feet or whatever. It's too small.
What's the spud?
My keyboard's not working, so you'd have to Google it. It's just like a tiny. If you can Google it and bring it up, it's this super tiny inflatable kayak, but it's too small. It's dangerous. It's really for kids.
Zach, are you still using your Apple products? Is that why we're having all these problems?
It is Apple. I don't know what's going on. Like something weird. I mean, I can try to do it, but
no, it's fine. I feel like you always give me a hard time about my technology, you've been having a lot more problems with yours.
All right. This isn't
my junky old whatever.
This isn't a technology video. This is stuff.
Here we go.
Hey,
the Tributary Spud, $419. That's crazy cheap.
Well, it's because they're made in China, so it's not like the air ones that are made here. The Tributary is the stuff made in China, so the quality is still good. It's just not as good, but they're small.
I think it's really small.
Really small.
Small enough for your young paddler. What's the dimensions on it?
I don't know. You're gonna have to use the internet by yourself. We're not here for you.
Where are the?
I can tell you, like, I honestly, my backyard run, the hood, it's like class 3. I'm pretty sure I would swim in my backyard run that's class 3 in this thing. It's
weird. They don't have any of the.
Aaron, don't complain about. Don't blame them. It could be you.
Well, show me where it is, Zach. I don't see it on here. Usually, I do blame it on them because I'm not that bad with computers. Okay, here we go. Here's the name of it. Out of stock. Here's the number.
Go scroll down. Hit that allow thing at the bottom to allow cookies because you need your cookies. Not that. That's for sharing.
Yeah, I'm hiding that.
Okay, got it. Allow the cookies so that they can track you. All right, now go down. Specifications.
Specifications.
Right there. There
Big
are
blue
none.
letters, Aaron.
Yeah,
Okay.
we found it.
Okay. Yeah. That's yeah. I see him now. Thanks, guys. I
Yeah, no
totally
problem.
missed that. That's really helpful.
No problem.
Yeah.
See, there's the best. Look at the photo of the people. That's the best way to see how small they are. Anyway, I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, maybe she's a midget. You don't know how big she is, or maybe
Aaron,
she's
this is a politically correct show. We don't use the word midget on the show.
What do we use?
I have to Google. My keyboard doesn't work. I can't Google it.
Whatever. Maybe this guy's a very small person. Maybe he has very short legs. We don't know.
Hey, Jaron, that's cool. I can tell you, I'm 6'2". I would not have a blast in them, but that's cool to know. Yeah, I'd recommend longer personally, but that's cool. It seems scary.
That's but it looks light too. I wonder how much. It doesn't look like it weighs much, so you can take it anywhere.
Well, but it probably weighs a lot because it's the full air thing. Like, but that's my point is like, there's a back raft. Like this weighs probably 15 pounds less than that Spud. And they make, this is the 9-foot version, and they do make a Spud size version of this. But you're probably not going to do, like the Spud would not survive Giant Gap. And I'm sure somebody will live on Giant Gap doing it, and they'll prove me wrong.
But come on,
it would be brutal.
Hold on. So you'll use yours with gear on it. And you're saying the Spud is not going to survive without a bunch of gear on it.
Yeah, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Yeah, Sean, I was actually just going to the Mad Catter site and I just went to it, but it said there's some security issue. But that's what I'm talking about. There's like the bike cart with the brakes. Mad Catter's the guy that sells them.
I think, Zach, the problem is you're like 6'3" and you're probably over 200 pounds. So, yeah, you don't like that.
Yeah, that's the problem. No. If you're like an average sized person, they're probably a blast. I don't know why you're being so argumentative with me today, Aaron. The whole Clavey thing swimming is just, I still can't believe you took that.
No, I have, this is kind of one of my theories is a lot of times you're better off in the water than in your boat on a lot of trips.
All right, let's move on. So
R1-ing. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about R1-ing a little bit and we'll close the show up. This is Peter sent us this video. I have a hard time with making video work or audio work. So we're just going to watch him and see what he's doing. He's explaining what he's doing. It's pretty obvious. Have you guys R1 before? Steve, have you ever tried this? Just by yourself in a raft?
Yeah, through rock garden and stuff, but not long trips.
Steve has friends.
Aaron,
sorry, Peter. That's just a joke. I love you, Peter, but I just.
Why wouldn't you take an inflatable kayak if you're going to R1? Like,
yeah.
Or why wouldn't you row? Because you had to hike in.
I mean, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Let me try to answer it because I'm trying to learn how to R1. The inflatable kayak. Okay, so if I'm going to run something really hard.
Okay. Yep.
An inflatable kayak, I think, is more likely to flip. I think the raft has some stability.
Yep.
Maybe not a 14-foot raft, but maybe like a big. There's more stability around me in like a raft than an inflatable kayak. Rowing, I prefer personally, but it's more stuff. So like I have to have a frame, I have to have oars, I have to have like all the repair kit for it. So it's kind of like kayaking in a way. You just have to bring a raft.
So let's just say
that's cool. I can see why someone would want to do it.
Let's say for Clavey Falls, like you're going to drive to run Clavey Falls and you're just going to go run Clavey Falls and that's all you're going to run and you're going to go home and you could park right there.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of nice just to be able to like throw your raft in the back and a paddle or two and a pump. Just go there, pump it up. I mean, R1-ing Clavey Falls at low water, that wouldn't be that bad, right?
Have you done it? Have you R1'd?
No, but I would just think it's not going to be that bad because you just want to be in the right spot at the top and you sit in the bottom of the boat and then you come out the bottom and just
it's not that easy. Are you kidding? You have to make some moves. You have to miss things.
What do you have to miss? I think it'd be pretty easy.
Okay, well, for me, so I think kayaking's better. After I have a pack raft, like a real one. I actually bring it over and show you guys. I got a pack raft. I got an R1 boat, like a little high side boat this year, just to like expand my horizons and try these things. Every time I go out in them, to me, kayaking is more fun. I'm like, yeah, that was cool. Kayaking is more fun. But if I didn't know how to kayak, this is a way for me to go boating and not depend on people. Like I don't have to find somebody to jump in the R2 with me, right? So like if I didn't, I would suggest learn to kayak because kayaking I think is just like it's more fun and more surgical, if that's the word. But if you don't want to put that effort in, or you don't like being shoved in a boat, or you don't like the idea of being upside down, this is a really cool solution to just like kind of be doing your own thing and not like, especially like I'm introverted, so part of me is like I don't want to talk to somebody all day. Right? Like I like hanging out with you guys all day. Like if one of you guys are two, I'd be like, cool, awesome, I can hang out with you guys for the day. But some people I'm like, I don't really want to make conversation with them all day.
My big problem with it is it seems hard. Like once I'm on the water, cool, sure, whatever. And if it's a river with a lot of rapids where I'm like not having to paddle a lot of pools, okay.
Oh, yeah, the pools will kill you.
Yeah, pools would not be fun, and trying to get to the river and get it back from the river, rolling it up, all that stuff just seems like a pain and not worth it.
So the time, I'll show you my video in a minute.
I mean, maybe you trailer it. If you trailered it,
that looks like what R1-ing would be, is what he's doing right there.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's what it is, right? Yeah.
Switching sides, spinning around backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're on this. He's happy. Look, he's smiling. Like
he said, he said he had a great time. Yeah, I got so much crap from my friends, but it was actually fun and challenging. Yeah. And I bet you'd learn a lot doing it. I bet you would learn stuff that you didn't know, just the way the raft pivots and moves. It give you a different feel for the river.
So, yeah, I hear you.
I'm going to say I like Peter's kneel in the bottom of the boat technique. I'm a big fan of that. Just keep as low as you can and never fall, so you don't fall out of the boat. That's my preferred technique right there. So, yeah.
So
it looked like it was fun.
Oh yeah,
it did look fun. It did look fun.
So I'm going to show you guys my video from R1-ing because I got a boat R1 and I'm trying to learn how to do it. This is from me the other day, and I want to say to bring up what Aaron said. I went with two kayakers. I think Dougie Fresh was there. Dougie Fresh and then my other friend Brody. I think that's who was. Oh no, Jess. Anyway, they were waiting for me. Because they were ready to go. I had to pump up the boat. I needed help carrying it to the ramp. I had to go up. I had to like top it off and do some things. They probably had to wait 20 minutes.
Really? Even Doug? Doug, come on. Yeah. Doug's not the speediest guy to put in either. It's not like he's super.
No, yeah, super I know. Fast. They walked back up to help me. That's all it took. Like they went down. They waited for me. Wow. I was almost ready. They walked down. I was still, and I think I'm pretty fast. It's just like it requires pumping and topping off, I had to tie in the GoPro, my spare paddle, put the repair kit in there. And so I definitely held the show up this day. Okay. And I could get the boat down by myself, but it was really nice to have help. Like it would take me another bit.
I think a bigger boat almost be easier because it's not going to turn as easy. Like a longer boat would be easier to run.
So I first did a longer boat. My first time doing it very first time was a 13-foot boat. This is actually like my third time R1-ing. I felt it impossible to control the 13-foot boat. It's just so much boat. And once it started turning, it was going to turn. But this wasn't a picnic either. Like keeping it straight is really hard.
Zach, can I ask a question? Why didn't you just get a two-sided paddle and sit in the middle of it?
I don't know.
Just sit in the middle. Just sit in the middle of the thwart and paddle like this with a really long paddle.
I mean, it's rowing. I have a rowing frame for it.
Oh no, I don't mean rowing. I mean.
I know. I get it. I get it. I'm trying not to laugh at your stupid joke.
Oh, that's how I think that may make the most sense, right?
Sure.
I mean, tell me, why aren't you? This is like C1-ing right here.
It is like C1-ing.
Except totally it looks like you don't have any friends.
I don't have any friends.
Why? Why tell everybody?
Yeah, why share this?
Just stay home.
Ooh.
Why? Oh, because I did have people go with me. It wasn't just me. I had two kayaker friends. I was trying to the idea is you're like a kayaker kind of. You're like one more individual. So instead of like boats that require like a group of people, it's like, oh, I'm gonna kayak, I'm gonna ducky, I'm gonna R1. And so I was sort of an independent person that day.
I'm gonna say this: Trevor Croft makes it look way better than you make it look.
Well, no kidding. This is like my third time doing it, and my first time in this boat.
Fun. And Trevor makes it look easy.
All right, we need to get some of Trevor's video.
Yeah, like I think we looked. He shared some with us that one time, and he made it look pretty easy. And like he would do a lot of stuff where he'd come across, put his hand on that front tube. He did a lot of weighting of the boat moves. I felt like as he goes.
Exactly. When you're in this eddy right here, are you there on purpose, or are you like
I'm in no
trying to get out and can't get out?
I'm trying to get out and can't get out.
I like Chris Davis's comment. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's get the comments.
Yeah. And we can see.
That's really cooler and drive back on the opposite side of the boat. That's an interesting thing. Like waiting it out. Would you put like somebody actually sent me a comment? They're like, "Oh, I put a bag of rocks in the front, opposite side, to help it track better." And because I posted this video as a Gear Garage episode, and people gave me, I'm like, "Hey, help me learn how to R1." And one guy was like, "Oh, I go to put a bunch of rocks in the bag," which I have a couple questions about. The biggest one is like, please don't move the rocks in our public lands downriver. Like, my issue is like, it's like all the rocks I put in are now gone and they're all somewhere else. Like, I think I'd rather not move our rocks.
And yeah, if everyone starts doing that, because there's a problem, you get to put in. You're like, hey, there's no rocks for my boat today. What am I?
And there's a bunch of rocks that take. Well, think of all the insect. Habitat.
For the grub worm population too. While we're at it, right?
Yeah, I think that's what's cool about it is like it's something different.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's why I'm trying to get into it is just to change things up and try something new. And so thanks, Peter. First of all, thanks for the video. We appreciate it. Sorry it took us so long to get to it, and I wish I could make the audio work. But I think R1-ing is the rage.
Really?
I think it's the new thing. What are you talking about, Aaron?
It's like skinny jeans.
It's like what?
Skinny jeans.
Wait, you don't wear skinny jeans?
Skinny jeans are not even in anymore, Zach. That's what I mean. It's going to be like skinny jeans. It's going to come and go. All the hipsters are going to be doing it. The rafting hipster people will do it, and then they'll be done. And everyone will be like, it's actually better to do it with your friend. You're like, yeah, no kidding.
Taking an honest look at it, there's a direct correlation between hipsters and people that are one. As I just think about it, I'm seeing that. And hey, Mark Rivers, PT, DPT, badass. That doesn't mean you. That means the other ones.
You need to get
so it isn't heavy to carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron's not gonna R1 a 14-foot boat. He's just arm trick quarterback.
The thing is I'm not gonna buy another boat to have an R1 boat. I'm not like Zach, who's gonna have my 50 different boats. I want one boat that I can do stuff with. And like a 14-footer is great. I can R2 it, can take a bunch of people on it, I can run it, row on a multi-day trip, do an Orpal combo. It's a very useful boat. But having just my R1 boat, not sure about that.
If R1-ing makes you a better boater, we should all support it.
Oh,
right.
And if you're just having fun,
yeah.
But I'm going to say this, Steve. When I get to take out with my kayak and you ask me for help carrying your R1 wrapped up, I'm going to be a little annoyed.
I'm not, Steve. I'm not. I'm there for you, bro.
And it's an R2. It's an R2.
Yeah, it's like I just pick a friend, find a friend. Yeah. But if we're both R1-ing and then I help you carry your wrapped up and then you come help carry my wrapped up, I'm fine with that. That's
okay. Cool. But you're going to want me to carry your lunch if you're kayaking. Hey, can I put my lunch in your boat?
No.
Oh, you always do. You always do. You did that when you had a raft. I had to carry all your stuff for you. You had to be on the lead boat. I need my boat to be really light. Will you carry my dry bag for me?
I've seen Steve taking Aaron's personal gear bag.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's more of that was for you specifically, Steve. I wanted to make you feel good. Like I trust you with my stuff.
You're always driving that shuttle anyhow, so you never do the takeoff. Aaron, well, I think you're 15 years younger than me, but you were always like 15 years older than me when it came time to do this, to do the work.
Oh man, this is getting real.
Whoa, this is why Steve wanted to come on, man. Yeah. Man, I'm kind of glad I missed that other day. Ouch.
This is like senioritis.
Yeah.
I can say whatever I want now. The T carry out. See, that's the thing about R1-ing is you have to have friends to carry your boat. I think the thing about the little high side boat that I have, the little Mini Max, is you could deflate it and carry it up that way. Like it actually packs super small and it's not that heavy. So but you'd have to deflate it and roll it, I think.
Well, you're going to be boating with other people anyways, so
hopefully.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you for being a member of Gear Garage. Do me a favor, do : write this as a comment, : Aaron : I want to see what happens. Yeah, so this is the problem is I have when I was R1-ing here, I had it back.
Zach, I do feel like you like longer paddles than I like.
I do, but this is a 66-inch paddle. This is a paddle I use for racing. And so it's a brutal length. And I'm getting a 60-inch paddle pretty soon to deal with. It's really hard to
Zach, don't you own like hundreds of paddles?
I do. I have some 60-inch Carlisles back here, but I'm a Sawyer ambassador, so I'm supposed to be using Sawyer stuff. So I'm waiting for a 60-inch Sawyer paddle. So in the meanwhile, I use this paddle I use for racing. But a shorter paddle would have been really nice, and it was hard to do a lot of things with the longer paddle. So good eye, Chris.
We got a lot more comments. We're getting way behind on our comments, aren't we?
Okay, but Chris, Aaron.
He did it. He already did it.
Half the time I was in the bow. Alternating paddling strokes. Oh, the flat water would be
that sounds.
And it's the lower king, so the flat water. I think we did 8.5, and that was just a wild guess. I think that my 1.63 equation may not work at the shorter end of boats. I don't know, but yeah, I did 8.5, and I haven't rode it yet. My guides have, and they said 8.5 was great. The audio. Oh yes, yeah. Thanks for understanding, Peter. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Mark, I don't know, Steve. Mark Rivers, a PT, a DPT, a badass. Lives in the East Coast, and boats like North Carolina and that area. And they do a lot. They call small boating. So like a lot of 11-foot R1, R2, and rowing. They row a lot of 11-foot boats. Oh yeah, I saw that. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, I've R1'd.
That's funny. Who's been R1-ing since '89? Come on, it was just invented like 3 years ago. I don't believe that. If I saw anyone R1-ing more than 10 years ago, I would have given them a hard time. Like, what is this? Have you guys ever seen an R1?
I'm going to say this, Zach. Back when we were working on the Tuolumne, which is well over 10 years ago, those guys came from the Kern who are R1-ing. They were R1-ing duckies with a commercial paddle instead of using a ducky paddle. They came up to the Tuolumne and they were all doing.
It's not R1-ing.
That was a cool thing to do. They were R1-ing the
duckies.
The duckies.
It's D1.
That's D1.
But it's not. They weren't using a ducky paddle. They weren't using a two-side paddle. They were using a.
Oh no, I get it. But so
they're basically doing that, and they're kind of sitting up on the side.
No, that's like C1-ing, Aaron. That's not. Okay. That's something close to R1-ing.
IC1.
IK1.
Inflatable canoe one.
IK1. Hey, we're pretty sure with the comments. Yeah, Forrest, thanks. We're pretty much done. I had a conversation with Mark this morning, Mark Hurst, about, I just remembered this, about upstream safety and upstream spotters and downstream safety. I just remembered this. And he brought this up. It's kind of random. We talked about this. I'm looking for this. He was saying upstream awareness and downstream management are sort of the new terms. So what do you guys think about using the word upstream awareness instead of upstream spotter, and downstream management instead of downstream safety?
I like it. It's a little more encompassing.
I feel like upstream awareness means like, I kind of know what's going on upstream of you. Be aware. Doesn't mean like have somebody upstream there. It seems more vague, which in some ways I'm okay with for people who are like knowledgeable, but in terms of a basic general principle, I like the idea of someone being up there to weigh people down, like having upstream safety, someone upstream there for safety purposes versus an upstream awareness. That sounds much more nebulous, I guess.
Well, his point was, and it was interesting. This was just like a discussion via chat, so it wasn't hard. We didn't actually talk. That upstream spotter connotates one person going upstream, where upstream awareness is more like, hey, this might require more than one person to handle what's happening upstream.
Well, I think upstream safety is great. That's why I like upstream safety.
Upstream safety down. Yeah, but is it safety?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Just like you have downstream safety.
I mean, I understand that it provides some safety, but it's like, I think I like spotter personally because it's like, hey, your job is to like look for people and spot them.
Zach, what if
it's a
you
very
and I
different job?
What if you and I are R1-ing and you get stuck, and I have to pull you off? I don't have an upstream spotter. So, but I could have upstream awareness, and I could have upstream safety.
But you are the upstream spotter in that case. You're just not upstream. Like the upstream spotter doesn't have to be upstream. They just have to be spotting upstream.
Responsible for the upstream traffic.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you could probably, if you were really in a bind, figure out a different way to alert people to not enter that rapid without a person being there. Like, I think if we came up to a rapid that we couldn't see the bottom of and we saw something on shore that looked unusual, it could signal you to pull over. Okay, something's going on. Like if there was a whatever, some sort of a warning device other than a person. So I was on a road trip earlier this month, and there were 2 boats wrapped in Wildcat, and not a lot of people to pull it off.
That sounds like every road trip this summer.
And that is a rapid where an upstream spotter or upstream awareness is really, really important.
Yeah.
And we were going through scenarios. If we didn't have enough resources to send someone upstream and signal people to stop, like, what other alternatives do you have? Like, if you only have one person, they shouldn't be upstream. You might be wasting them if they just stood upstream and told nobody to enter, or you wait up there until you have more people to come and then help you. We talked about through all those things, and it was, is there another way to alert people?
Was this like a Steve Welch theoretical discussion afterwards, or was this in the moment you're like, wow, we don't have enough people? This is a real or theoretical?
It was a theoretical afterwards.
Okay. And for those of you that don't know Wildcat, long entrance, you can't, when you enter the rapid, you can't see where people wrap. And once they wrap, there's nothing you can do. You really have to send somebody upstream to stop traffic if you're going to pull out ropes.
And when you say long entrance too, it's like class 1+ current water that you can't pull over in. It's like benign up above that it's.
But
not
you can't pull over in it. There's actually there's a place you can pull over on the left just before the wrap, but it's one boat, and your skills have to be pretty spot on to do it. I mean, my take, I'd love to know what you guys think. You don't pull ropes out. Because you don't have a spotter.
You just wait there. You just do something else. Try all the other alternatives.
Make lunch.
Oh, just wait. Hold on. Let's just wait there. I'm gonna go back to dinner.
Make dinner.
Yeah, that's the Zach Collier approach. The Aaron Cavanaugh approach is like you don't need a rope from shore anyways. So I think probably for the best.
But that's my point. Is like you don't get that tool. Like you don't get ropes. So let's try to get this thing off without ropes.
Wait, Zach, if you replace upstream spotter with upstream awareness, why can't I have a rope?
Because you can't.
You don't think I can undo it in time?
No.
No.
So when you're, I mean, you can. I'm sure you can because you're thoughtful and you're Steve Welch. But the average person, once you start getting that mentality of pulling on ropes and you're just like you get tunnel vision, like I am burly raft guy and I pull on ropes and I'm going to pull hard, and your whole focus is on getting that boat off and pulling the ropes. It's no matter how much you think you're going to have upstream awareness, you're going to lose it. That's number one. And number two, before Aaron, you spat off some nonsense. And number two, when you can't, it's too far. like you can't, like when boats are coming down, you just don't, I don't think you have time to undo your system.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think we have two conversations. We have like the word police conversation about what words we should be using to describe the situation. Then we have like the practical aspect conversation. These are two interesting conversations, but like focusing on the practical thing. I mean, once you put a locking prusik on your system that locks the tension, when you release, someone comes down, you're going to have a hard time without just cutting that prusik, about loosening it and being able to lift it up so people can come over it or whatever needs to happen. If you're having a rope from shore. Yeah, great idea in the
on the road in September.
Oh, yeah. You want to go to jail, don't you? Start a big fire.
Steve, what did you guys do in like not in the actual, not the theoretical?
Waited until we had another person before they set the ropes up and sent someone upstream. But it was a waste of resources. Like it was, or not a waste of resources. It was an allocation that was hard to give up. Like we needed another person to pull.
And did that person actually stop somebody? Did they actually like, were people going to come by that person who went upstream actually stopped traffic?
Yes.
Once they stopped the first person, couldn't they be like, hey man, do you mind staying up here? And then, I mean, that's all you're waiting for. And particularly on the rogue, I mean, that's not that bad.
And usually the first person,
people are always coming down on the road. There's always
usually the first person is 3 people. And it's like, hey, could one of you wait here and stop other boats? And 2 of you come down to help?
I think that's what actually happened. Yeah.
And so would you call that situation an upstream spotter or upstream awareness?
Or upstream safety.
Or upstream
safety. That's what I would call it.
I'm going to tell you why, as the word police, I like spotter still. Because I think upstream safety, downstream safety, it's too similar of words. I think they have very different roles. The person downstream is there to provide like a catcher's mitt for people and stuff coming down. The person upstream isn't like, they don't need a throw bag. They're not actually providing safety services. They're just spotting stuff and then being like, hey, here's what we're going to do.
You don't think they're providing safety services? They are providing upstream safety. They are
come on, Aaron, you're just trying to be
they are ensuring the safety
this is like
of the upstream of the raft.
Wait, Steve, you're agreeing with this?
I'm agreeing with it, yeah. I'm including that as part of the whole safety management, scene management thing. Like it's a piece of safety.
I'm including it too. I'm just
spotter sounds like I could be hanging out, be in the middle of the rapids.
And it's too specific too. Like a spotter. Oh yeah, I'm spotting people. Oh, there's somebody coming. Yeah, I could be way up on a mountaintop. Hey, there's somebody coming down.
You guys know what it means.
Okay,
you know what it means. And you understand that the upstream spotter is part of the safety protocols, right? You could call it the upstream spotter safety if you wanted to, right? Like everybody is if you assign a medic, should we rename that person medic safety?
Okay,
I think we're getting into semantics. The point is, we want someone at both ends.
Yeah, but I do have a question. Yeah,
upstream and downstream.
You need upstream safety and downstream safety. You need both.
Okay, right? The name upstream safety for some reason tweaks me, but I want to say like but we all know what it is. I just want to I have a new 4-point reminder when RAPs or emergencies happen. Upstream safety spotter, downstream safety awareness, put somebody in charge. What's the 4th one? Oh, think about what's going to happen when the situation resolves. Think about what happens after.
Now let's back up for a minute. So when Mark was saying these are the new terms, what were the old terms that they were using at IRAP?
I think that they're using spotter and upstream spotter, downstream safety. And I think they're not new terms. They're just like, well, he said something about some new buzzwords and ways of thinking. Here's what he wrote. Hey, a few new buzzwords and ways of thinking upstream spotters and downstream safety terms, which have been replaced with upstream awareness and downstream management.
Wait, did he say spotters or did he say safety?
He said spotters. He said new ways of thinking of upstream spotters and downstream safety terms have been replaced with upstream awareness and downstream management. And my comment back was those sound like terms made by a committee.
A good committee.
So, wouldn't you want upstream management? Aren't you really supposedly managing the upstream scene? Isn't that where the management is upstream?
Yeah, you could. So you could write that. You could write this role is upstream spotting, safety, and management. You could say that, or you could just say upstream spotter, knowing that people know what that means. Let's close this one up.
Upstream safety, which
whatever.
A lot of it's abused.
Blue Puma, thanks for being a member. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
it makes us feel good. We're gonna get Aaron a new maybe a vest or something here pretty soon, and you can type in Aaron : to get a photo of Aaron's face in the comments. So please do that.
It's unfortunate that I don't get to see him because of the way our system is. Like I don't get to see.
It makes me so happy. Because I have it on my iPad right here. I'm watching the comments just to see it. It makes me so happy. Thank you.
Is there one for Zach ?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Don't forget about that.
I don't think it matters what we call the upstream and the downstream positions, as long as we recognize their importance.
Yeah, right? and so in the way I agree. In the way that I feel like I teach or I like share information is have these really crazy debates so that we just keep hammering a comment, an idea over and over and over and over and over. And I feel like at the end of us wasting 15 minutes, not wasting, but talking about 15 minutes, like the semantics discussion helps reinforce the concept. So hopefully,
like when we're arguing like why it's better to be safety or why it's better to be management, because aren't you managing the scene? We're talking about what you're doing. Yeah, I kind of that's kind of our game. We sit there and bicker with each other about like the nuances of it, and we like make all these arguments, but all the details that we discuss hopefully give people like kind of a fuller picture of all these things. Maybe they are already thinking about them. Don't forget.
I'll work on it. The thing is, I've watched because I'm learning how this YouTube thing works. You have to be a member to play the games. So, and it's ZACH, Peter. But again, you have to be one of those $1.99 a month members to use it. Sorry. I'll look into it. Hey. I mean, it's just. I just set this up last week. I just learned about it.
I love how all the ways to
Yeah, what we should do is if you become a member, you can tell Aaron what to wear.
Well, since there's a request, it's somewhere around here. Here we go. I can switch it up. I can wear this one. There we go. Yeah, I got that hat. Yeah. I feel like everyone's making fun of it after a while. I don't golf.
Yeah, he's making fun of it the same way he wants win footage. The exact same way he wants win footage.
This hat. Story, Zach.
That goes way back. So we should close this one up. I got a couple things to say before we close it up.
Keep switching hats there. Yeah, I can.
Aaron, your video is getting bad. But first, Steve, thanks for joining us. Hopefully you can keep.
Thank you guys. Good to see you again.
I'm gonna make a Steve. If we can get you to be a regular, it's fun having these chats we've had over the years with you again online.
I want to do some live shows. 3 R1s. Triple R1.
Oh, there you go. Oh, look at that. R1-ing on the.
I'm ordering a 60-inch paddle as soon as we get off the show. Maybe 58. We can talk about 58 versus 60.
Oh man, I don't think I'd go 58, but yeah, that's insane.
Our new scene's got a lot of light blue in it. I'll say that we're really blue now, aren't we?
I'm trying to get away from the Northwest branding and go to like a new branding. Yeah, we go with the green to the blue. Try something new, just to separate this. So, but anyways, it's.
Go ahead.
What, Aaron? Jeez.
I thought we were closing it up. I was about to hop into my spiel and get this thing done.
I had two things to say. One of them was to thank Steve and just, it's nice to have you here. The second one is next Friday, I'm going to be on the road, but I'm going to come in from somewhere else. I'm going to be traveling the East Coast behind my laptop. Ooh. So we're going to try this from the East Coast. And I might go boating out there if I can. Mark Rivers, call my PT, call my BT, call my badass. Like, we should talk. I've been meaning to call you and Stillman. But the wind's coming in tomorrow. So I'll try to get some wind footage. I might go run the wind tomorrow. So we may have some wind footage next week to go with Aaron's Mizuno hat.
Oh, good. Yes, good.
All right, I need to shut this down.
All right. Well, hey, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. It's so fun to get to see you and chat with you. And yeah. Thanks for saving my back all those years. I mean, my back's still doing really well. I appreciate you carrying all those coolers up the hill for me. So
you should thank me too. We both carried your stuff.
Yeah,
hey,
Steve,
this reminds me, Steve.
Every time my back hurts, my left side I think of Aaron, and my right side I think of Zach.
Oh, come on! This reminds me of a story, Steve. You may not remember, but one time we were doing a Tuolumne trip at high water, but the reservoir was low, and you and I carried a 16-foot boat up by ourselves, the two of us.
I do remember
on our heads, and I vaguely remember saying, if Aaron was here, this never would have happened.
Not like that. I would have probably found another way to do it. Not required carrying on our head. So, oh yeah, sweet.
My favorite Tuolumne story that I still tell is now that the boat ramp's there. It's not as relevant. But whenever we would do put-ins together, Zach, there would be like 9 oars on the truck, and you would take 8 of them, carry them down, leaving one for some poor guy who had to bring 1 oar down, only on their shoulder, 1 oar, and then you would always find a way to point that out. That, oh yeah, Steve, nice load, because there was only 1 oar left. Someone had to bring it.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you one more story, then we'll go. I think I thought the favorite story you're gonna tell was the time that I did a 2-boat Arctic trip. It was me and somebody else, and we flipped a boat in the last rapid before the reservoir.
Rob Everett, you came to take out upside down.
You were a takeout with the truck, and I was in a paddle boat, and the gear boater flipped, and the gear boat comes around the corner upside down in the reservoir, and then we flipped it onto shore, and it landed on a rock and popped.
Put a hole in it,
and we had to winch up a gear boat with the thing empty, with the baffle empty.
All right. Tell that story too.
Okay, that seems like a better story.
Oh, let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, next Friday. Really fun. Yeah, definitely again soon. So hey, you guys, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys, all you guys, for tuning in. Thanks for all the new members. Really excited about that. I mean, hopefully, Zach, what is the number of followers? Are you up to your 50,000? What do you need? 100,000 followers? What's your goal here?
We're almost 6,000. The goal is 10 million.
10 million. It keeps growing. So thank you guys for being members. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that like button, and of course subscribe, and then ring that bell so you get notifications. So anytime Zach posts anything new on Gear Garage, you'll be the first to know. Yeah, guys, it's been a pleasure. Always fun hanging out with you guys, and everyone, all your comments and everything like that. It's fun hanging with you all too. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. You guys have a good one.